everyone, welcome to this Impermanent Loss video. My name's Ben, I'm lead educator at Lumen Swap, the founder of Bullring Crypto. Probably one of the most complex topics in yield farming and liquidity provision. It gets most people confused in some degree. So we're going to hopefully break it down so that you can understand it a little better. And you can go away from here more informed of whether you want to actually provide liquidity, whether it's worth the risk to you or not. One of the ways that a lot of projects mitigate impermanent loss is to give you a reward. So that's generally comes in the form of a farming token or a incentivized liquidity pool, as we will see with Lumen Swap. So with Lumen Swap, once a month we get rewards based on the percentage of the liquidity pool that we have on the snapshot date. So if we have 8% on there, we will get 8% of the reward pool, being 1,152,777 tokens every month. Now, the way that things are at the moment, at time of recording this video, is that I'm suffering impermanent loss on my liquidity provision with the liquidity pools that I'm in on the Stellar network. The rewards will not be enough if everything stays constant. The rewards will not be enough at the end of the month to compensate me for the impermanent loss. So if I was to pull out with everything staying constant at the end of the month, I would be at a financial loss. And I hope that this video will show you how that process actually works. This is designed for a plus side impermanent loss, this video, but there's also the negative side. I'm going to explain the negative side. I've already explained it to you in video format, but here I'm going to explain it a little bit more with data that you can actually see on the screen. So we all know to enter a liquidity pool, we have to have equal dollar value of two assets. Okay, so we've got Moon Coin here and Solid Coin. We need $100 of Moon Coin and $100 of Solid Coin to enter. Some people are going to say, how in Ben, there's Balancer and there's Curve and there's all these other ones that you can, like, you know, have 25% across four, or, you know, these kind of different things. We're just looking at the 50-50 pools because that's what operate on the Stellar network at the moment. Okay, so it's just the 50-50s. There are, of course, variants of all different sorts of things, and I just want to keep this very, very simple. So we must understand it's not 100 tokens of this and 100 tokens of that. It's nothing to do with it. It is dollar value on both sides, and this is going to show you a little bit what I mean here. So Moon Coin currently is $100 for one, and Solid Coin is $1 for one. So what we need to do is we need to pair one Moon Coin, $100, and 100 Solid Coins, yeah, to make that balance, that scales that we just saw. Assets will vary in price, but when we enter the liquidity pool, there has to be that 50-50 ratio based on their dollar value, right? So if we've got one XLM that's worth $1 and LSP is worth 10 cents, we need to put 10 LSP in for every XLM. Right? So that's very, very easy, basic maths to understand. The next one we've got to understand is that most pools have a very simple equation to keep the assets balanced. Bearing in mind what we're dealing with now is computer code. We are not dealing with traditional markets. We're dealing with an automated market maker, which is constantly balancing the two assets. And this is the equation. Right, asset number one times asset number two equals a constant product. Yeah, constant product. So the 10,000 here remains constant, and these balance in such a fashion to keep this constantly at 10,000. So we've got our $100 Moon Coin, we've got our $1 Solid Coin. So the total volume of assets, we've got 10 of these, yeah, so that's $1,000 on this side, agreed, 1,000. And on this side, total volume of assets, 1,000, because they're $1. So 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 10 of these and 1,000 of those. 10 times 1,000 equals 10,000, and that is the constant product. right? Don't worry what terms you want to use and whether my maths is grammatically correct and all that kind of stuff. As long as you understand this, you're not going to go far wrong. The next one is we need to look at the total value locked, or the TVL. This is the liquidity in the pool. Some people call it liquidity, TVL, total value locked, all means the same thing. We have got Moon Coin, $100 Moon Coin per asset, total volume of assets 10, so that's 1,000, and we've got Solid Coin, total volume of assets 1,000, right? So we've got 1,000 of them $1 ones and 10 of them, and then that comes to $1,000 and $1,000, $2,000 total value locked. The next one now, we have to understand our position. So you have a $200 liquidity position, which is 10% of the TVL, which is $2,000, agree? Because we said it's $1,000 here, $1,000 here. We have a $200 position, which is 10%. So we've got 1 Moon Coin and we have got 100 Solid Coins. That's how we are entering this position, right? The 50-50. Next up, the liquidity pool sees Moon Coin price increase, yeah, externally to the AMM. Remember, guys, this is not when people are saying, hang on, look at the price on CoinMarketCap. It's not what's on the SDEX, it's not on the AMM. Correct, correct. CoinMarketCap is pulling in off centralized exchanges. They work in market making, right? So we provide assets to them, and then the buy and sell orders dictate the price. You could go on to Digifinex, for example, and the price is different to LBank. Go on to LBank and the price is different to Buybox. Those are all pulled in from an API into a centralized location at CoinMarketCap. An average of those prices is given, and that is what you're seeing. That can be extremely, extremely different to the price that you're going to see on the Stellar DEX, on the SDEX and the AMM. So there is an opportunity for arbitrage traders to buy the tokens within the SDEX or the centralized exchanges, and to be able to play that spread in price. Okay, if you can get across and you're able to trade it in time, then you can make profits. And I've done this and I've done videos on it to show you exactly what is going on. Right, so what we've got now is Moon Coin has mooned, yeah, up to $400. And these traders have come in looking to buy the cheap Moon Coin. Because it's algorithmic, or because it's an equation inside here, we're seeing people go, wow, like it hasn't caught up yet. It's mooned on the outside. We need to buy cheap here in the AMM, take it across to the centralized exchange and sell it for the profit. So they do this until such a time as the price reaches an equilibrium. We took around about a month or more when we first went on centralized exchanges to see LSP balance into an equilibrium. There was plenty of arbitrage opportunities initially. Now, with this, what happens is, because there's only 2 assets in this pool, we are using the solid coin side, yeah, to buy up the Moon coins because they're cheap. So what happens is the volume of Moon coins, the total volume of assets held, decreases because they're being bought, and the solid coins increase because they're being sold. Okay, so they increase because we are using them to buy these. We want these, we're getting rid of them. Yeah, so that increases. But you have a look here, the product remains constant, but the inputs now change. So we've still got 5, or shall I say we've now got 5, and we've got 2,000. 5 times 2,000. We're keeping the 10,000 constant. Yeah, the constant product stays the same. The impermanent loss, guys, is when we take this let me just make sure I'm on the right slide. Okay, so the impermanent loss kicks in on the upside when we have a look at our 10% ownership of the pool. The LP share is now worth $400, right? Because we've gone up. If we go back to this one, We've gone up to $400 and there's 5 of them, so there's 2,000 on this side. Yeah, 2,000 here. We've got 2,000 at $1 on this side, so now the pool is worth $4,000. Doubled. Yeah, it's doubled in price up to $4,000. So now your 10%, when we come onto it, your 10% ownership is 400, isn't it? Because there was 5 in the pool, you've got 0.5, 10%, so you've got half of that, $200. And you've got 200 of these, which there was 2,000 in the pool, so you've got 200, which is 10%. So you've got 200 at $1, which is $200. So $200 on this side, $200 on this side. Happy, let me just pull that back in. Happy days. You are now in profit, but there's a caveat. There is a caveat. If we take the initial LP example, we began with 1 moon coin and 100 solid coins, didn't we? Moon coin is now $400 and 100 of these is $500. 4 and 1 is 5. So if we'd kept these in our native Stellar wallet, we would be looking at $500. 1 moon coin, 100 solid coins, if we didn't do anything. So we've actually suffered impermanent loss, guys, on profit. You've suffered the impermanent loss, yeah, on the profit. So it's not so bad as a negative loss. Right? It's not so bad. What we must consider is, imagine if the opposite happened. So we start off with our, let's go back to the start. We start off with our 1 moon coin and our 100 solid coins to this pairing. Now imagine if solid coin was a farming token. So it was just basically worthless. It was just having all sell pressure. There was no reason to keep it. It wasn't having any utility. It was just a reward token only. There was nothing we could do with it. So this started tanking. So this starts going from $1 down to 50, 40, 30, and we start getting a hell of a lot more of these, because what people are doing is, people are wanting this one. They're selling these. They're selling. This stack is growing and growing in amount. Yeah, this is growing in amount because people are selling this one, and they are using this to buy it. So we're getting tons and tons and tons and tons of these, and we are getting less or very much less of this because people are wanting this. So we're getting, this is going down dramatically, and this is sucking the value. So we're taking the value out of this. When people say, oh, it's okay because I've got USDC or I've got a stable coin on one side and a farming coin on one side, it's okay because this is stable. No, this is going to be used to make the market, and this is going to massively increase but tank out in value. It could go to a cent, less than a cent in value, and all of this value is sucked out of here, and before you know it, you've got maybe 10,000 of these worthless tokens and about 3 cents, and you are totally wrecked. The whole position has gone upside down, and then well, there's nothing to take out. But if you were going to take that liquidity pool position out, it would be worthless. 100% impermanent loss, and it's happened numerous times, as I said in my actual video. So what I say to you is, let's go back. We want to be in this situation. Let's go get the right slide. We want to be in this situation of any. We want the impermanent loss to be on the upside, so we pick asset number 1 and asset number 2 that we believe are going to appreciate, not depreciate, appreciate in value over the short, mid, long term, however long you're in the pool for, so that you can get profits delivered in terms of your token reward, your dual reward. We talked about network fees and then an incentivification. So you're going to get an incentivification from LumenSwap to be providing the liquidity between LSP and XLM, or LSP and USDC. If you're providing that liquidity, you're going to start, especially if you've, well, only if you've got over 1,000 LSP value on either side, yeah, you are going to be getting rewarded by lumen swap. If you are thinking LSP is going up in value and XLM is going to go up in value, because of course USDC doesn't go up in value, if you think those two assets are going to go up in value over the short, mid, long term, could be a good idea, because you can make still, you won't make as much as if you hold the native assets, but you will still, your liquidity pool position will still be worth more, right? It will be worth, as we said here, if you kept them, they'll be 500 and they're actually worth 400, right? So there's a difference there, isn't there? You know, you've got the 1 to the 1, and if you go back, yeah, you've got, sorry, this one. You've got your 400 share because you've got 0.5. Yeah, so if you'd kept it, you'd have 500 if you just kept it in Nate Stellar wallet. If you're in the liquidity pool, it'd be worth 400, 200 on that side, 200 on this side. So you've lost out on the 100. However, you started with 200. So it's like, okay, I could have had another $100, but I'm okay because I'm still in profit. Yeah, and you would have got your rewards based on the liquidity that you're providing. So you'd say, okay, I've got my rewards at the end of the month, great, and my liquidity position has grown in value, great, I'm okay, I'm happy. When it goes the other way and we get ourselves into a mess because it's gone down to nothing, as I said to you, if this goes down, we've got loads and loads of these, and this value has been sucked out here, then we're not going to have any sort of percentage of the pool, are we? Because there's no, as this is dropping, yeah, our percentage share of that pool, if people are still putting assets in, our percentage share is dropping like a stone, because we're going to have, if it's worthless, it's not going to be any percentage of anything, is it? And essentially what does happen in those instances is the pools go to nothing. I've seen pools that have had multi-millions in go down to like hundreds of bucks, because everyone's just sold, and there's still thousands of tokens in there, but they're just worthless. It's very important that you kind of try and wrap your head around this and say to yourself, this isn't an example of if it goes, I don't think I need to tell you about it going south. You know, if one goes out, it sucks the value from the other side. The only way that this isn't really going to be apparent, and I've touched on this before as well, is if this is a stable coin and this is a stable coin. So we've got a solid coin and it's worth $1, and this one's called safe coin and it's worth $1, you know, and you've got one on one side, one on the other. In real terms, USDC and USDT, unless there's anything cataclysmic happens in the financial markets and they are not backed and there's kind of audits or any kind of weird stuff that's going on, these are going to be pretty much the same. But what happens here is you get a very, very small return. You know, as people trading one to the other, yeah, you're going to get your network fees, but you're going to get a very small return in terms of any additional tokens, because people are like, well, I don't want to incentivize really these two too much. I want to incentivize our farming token to be provided as liquidity. I want to incentivize you to provide like Bitcoin or ETH or XLM, LSP. I want you to provide these so we've got liquidity on the platform for all these different asset pairs. So it's when you've got two stable coins, the impermanent loss is not going to happen, is it? It might fractionally change the balance in the pools. If loads of people are trading this one for this one, it's going to swap, but that will be worth like maximum, you know, you got like 98 cents to 102, haven't you? So you're going to get a little, you might get a fraction, 1%, 2% difference, but essentially they're going to stay exactly the same. You put 10 grand in, it'll be worth, I don't know, $9,980, you know, after a month or something like that. It can fluctuate like that a little, but that's about it. Be warned, be careful. You need to really, and there's tons and tons and tons of content out there. All I've done essentially is pulled in bits of other people's content to provide this to you. I mean, I can explain it easily in video form, which I did in video 1, but in terms of like trying to give you an example, you know, there's loads of examples out there is what I'm trying to get at. So go and watch them before you do anything. You know, this is not financial advice at all, as always. This is not financial advice. This is me just saying to you that you need to be careful with moving forward. You need to be super cautious with everything that you're doing in crypto anyway, but this is one area you can get burnt really bad really quick. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. As always, if you've got anything out of this video, hit me up with a comment underneath and a like. Subscribe and hit the bell if you really like it, and I'll bring you more content as and when we release it. Take care. Have a good evening, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.